Greetings, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darthtuba's Star Wars Unboxing. I'm your host, Darthtuba, and I have two items again for you today. Again, an old followed by a new item. And I will tell you that I don't have an unlimited amount of old items, and eventually the new items will run out until new items come in. But so it'll be different every week. Okay, but again, this show just talks about Star Wars unboxing. I unbox my collection so I can display it better, or just have more room to display it. And I invite you, the watcher, to come along and see what goes on. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. It's Darthtuba, 2 words. Follow me on Twitter at Darthtuba, and email me at darthtuba77@gmail.com. So let's start with the first item we're going to be unboxing is the Power of the Force line Mynock Hunt 3-pack, which featured 3 figures, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, and Han Solo on a little display base, also including a Mynock. Okay, I'll talk more about that in a second, but this is also going to be followed by a brand new item that's actually another Rogue One item that has not been seen yet other than in the trailers, and it is a Black Series Titanium Rebel U-Wing fighter. Okay, the Rebel U-Wing fighter looks really awesome. It's something that I think Doug Chiang, who was one of the original concept designers on Episode 1, and he's been doing a lot of stuff again with Lucasfilm. I think he helped contribute to this design. Really cool. I think it adds well to the Star Wars universe. But let's start with our older one, 3-pack. Okay, now this is a pretty old one. In fact, I love how sometimes people on Facebook or on eBay will call this vintage. And I'm laughing. I'm like, no, this is not vintage. But in a way, it sort of is. Think about it. This came out in 1998. Where are we now? That is almost 20 years ago. It's 2016 going on 17. And this is actually from 1998. So we're talking about an 18-year difference, okay? Almost 19 years. And you have to wonder, you think about what was vintage back when we were first buying this stuff. That was only 10 years earlier, or maybe 12 or 13 years earlier. That would be considered vintage. So it's actually the distance between this and now is further than the distance between new Star Wars toys after a long hiatus and the 70s and 80s when they were originally out. So pretty cool. Now, I loved displaying these in the box. Okay, it is a diorama in a box. That is awesome. Okay. It is just a fantastic way to sell a toy. Now, if you recall, anybody in the old school guys like me, I remember that when the original vintage lines came out in the 70s and early 80s, they didn't come out with a lot of figure packs. And what they did, they simply just took the 3 figures, lined them up in a box, and sold it, in the box, with the figures just kind of bubbled, packed down in there. There was no creativity other than just putting them in the box. Those have, of course, now are worth tens of thousands of dollars if you own them all. But these, obviously not as worth as much because they were so mass-produced, everything from the late 90s on. But it's still a really, really cool display piece in and of itself. Okay. However, the problem with these display pieces sometimes is that unless you were putting the whole thing in an acrylic box itself, it starts to get some wear and tear on the plastic. It starts to fade a little bit, and you got to be careful if you have fluorescent lights shining on some of the things. I'll have some other pieces I'll show you that, the whole yellowing of Trooper, that type of thing. But we're going to take this one out because I kind of like it, and I'm going to leave them on the base. But I like it just because I have a little bit more flexibility with how I can display them and where I can display them if I don't have this box that's in the way. Okay. I will say that this box, I'm probably going to save only because I kind of like a little bit having a couple of samples of the old boxes from way back when. Okay, so this one we're going to do a little bit of, this is going to be a pain because I have to actually, I'm going to try doing this. Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to take them off. I might actually only take them off temporarily, just so I can remove the box. Let me see if I can loosen them up. I only say that because, when you have, and again, as you can see behind me, if you can see the way I have things displayed, I'm not a creative displayer. I am someone who said, okay, I have X number of spots. How am I going to? I have X number of inches that square inches. How am I going to display? Get everything out there. I mean, I wish I could do like fancy dioramas, or I do have a couple of areas that are kind of themed, but for the most part, no. For the most part, I feel like this is just. I only have so much room, and I just make the most of the room I have. So much so that, and that's why, on occasion, I have been known to have to sell some things off just to make room. Not because I wanted to sell them off, not because I didn't like them, but simply because I didn't have the room. So, all right. So it looks like these guys, I can actually keep the twist ties kind of folded on the back here, okay, so that they'll stay as a base. But I do want to actually remove these. Now, some people like to, people who are interested in dioramas, my advice to you would be all these things that I'm saving, these things, I'm tossing them out. But they make excellent, for somebody who's into making dioramas, they make excellent pieces that you can use, like if you need them for pipes, if you need them for any type of machinery or greeblies, as George Lucas used to call, that you need to add to the set of the set piece that you might be setting a diorama on. You can definitely use that. So for me, not so much. Now this did come with a, if you look here, this did come with a nice little base backdrop. Okay, but as I said, I made the ultimate decision that I need the room. The rest of this box takes up more than I need this. So that is where this is going to go. But as I said, those of you with unlimited space, by all means, keep it in the box. It's fine. It's a cool display piece. So here we have, we have our three heroes. We have Chewbacca, we have Princess Leia, we have Han Solo. This is obviously coming out of the Millennium Falcon when they heard stuff in it when they were parked inside the space slug. Again, spoiler alert. And they're really cool. All right, I like them. I mean, I don't really feel the need to have to take them out of here and repose them any other way. If you keep their feet down, you can actually turn them around, do different things. What's funny is, those of you that recall the 1994, 95, when they first started releasing Star Wars again, we were so excited as collectors to have that again. The problem is that if you look at the Han Solo figure, he's kind of a remnant of this. He was very buff. They had him very built. I think that was kind of coming off the He-Man phase, where they were all super muscular, and they were trying to achieve that with the Star Wars figures, and they really didn't go over too well with collectors. So eventually they got, what's funny is that if you look at Leia, this is a much better Leia than the first Leia that came out. The first Leia, I'll show you that at some point, she was very weird looking, just again, really buff, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. But in this one, I think Leia and Chewie definitely look more the part. I love that they have the face masks on. And again, I'm not one to, if I take all the weapons apart and everything, they're just going to eventually end up on the floor, and I'm going to mistakenly vacuum them up or something, so I choose not to do that. I'll leave them just like that, and that works as a display piece. In fact, I wonder if you notice over here, you can see that there's been a few things that I've taken out of the box and displayed, like the separatists little getting together for stuff. And I even have it someplace. I have in the back there. I actually did keep some of the figures in their diorama. In this case, I'm going to keep it loose. Although I just noticed something. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll change our mind on this. In fact, maybe I'm going to change the direction that we're going in here. If you notice this, you're going to see that there's a groove here. I think the groove is so you can actually put the actual unit in. So let's test that theory, shall we? All right. By the way, this also comes with a cute little Minoc. Okay, I'll leave the Minoc kind of stuck there. And now what I'm going to do... Oh, I don't even have to do it. It looks like... Yep, it looks like it's already there. I have a little, base here. Kids, don't try this at home unless you have the proper equipment for it. They do give you some instructions on how to do this, so you can keep the base if you'd like. I think that's a great idea. It gives you that option. And this doesn't take up nearly as much room as the entire box does. Again, I apologize for any mint on card collectors that are cringing when I do this. Again, please don't email me hate mail. It's perfectly okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Oh, look at that. Wow. So much better, right? Now, a little Minot guy doesn't have a place to go, but if I stick him in here, in the little box there you go. You still have your nice little scene. So, that'll be cool. I'll be able to, again, it's not, because the base is only a certain width and length, I can use the backdrop and still maintain the quality of the diorama. So I'm going to set him, or them, over here. And let's get to our next one. Now our next one, again, something new, and it's a pretty quick one. This is, again, the Titanium, Black Series Titanium, U-Wing, Rebel U-Wing Fighter. Okay, and it looks really nice. As I said in my last video, I'm not a big fan of the boxes, though. I really feel, having figures hanging on the peg is one thing, but you can't even do that. It gives you a thing to hang, but unfortunately there's no real good way to do this unless it kind of protrudes out. So it doesn't really work too well as a display piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and again, as I said, I won't be keeping this box, but this one's nice. It comes with more of an elastic kind of piece, so it's easy to cut off, and it comes with its little base here. It, one second, and done. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is actually like the old Titanium. It has a little base, and this fits right on it. Okay, and there you go. You have your U-Wing. Okay, you can display it like this. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Bring it back like that. Okay, you can display it like this. Either way. You can also not use that and just have a little landing gear here, and you can just display it on the ground like that. Okay, and I do believe these fold back. Okay, so you have multiple ways to display it. See? Okay, really cool. Really cool idea for a ship. I'm very excited to see these in action. And, I do have one thing, we have people say to me, well, how come you never saw them in Star Wars? How come you never saw them originally? And I'm like, guys, my answer to that is really simple. First of all, I'm not an apologist for Lucasfilm or Disney or anybody else. Okay? I simply choose to see beyond that. Okay? One could argue when watching a movie about a superhero who can fly, like, how could they do that? How could they fly? How can we have lasers? How can we have planets filled with apes? How can we have all this stuff that is just there? And I say, you know what, guys? It's a story, and it's a what-if story. And it's okay to say, let's think about what it would be like to have that happen. What would it be like to be able to say, this is this type of thing in the universe? I think that's why so many people get excited about zombie apocalypses. Not that I do, but I can respect people's ideas about that. So I say to them when it comes to this, I'm like, you know what? I'll tell you why. Forget about this. I'm not going to tell you an in-story reason. I'm going to tell you a story that if Star Wars is going to continue to inspire and entertain, they can't fall back on the same vehicles, the same ships, the same stories. They're going to have to do things new and different. And people are going to have to be okay with that. Otherwise, they're just going to stop. They won't go to see the movies, and there won't be any new stories, and the new other things will come up in their place. But right now, I'm very excited for the U-Wing and the Rogue One story, and I can't wait to see how it all interplays and how it's different. And that's it. So, and for this week, we have this. We have our display unit from the Minot Hunt, came out in 1998, Power of the Force, and then the Black Series Titanium Rebels U-Wing Fighter. So, that does it for our show. If you like what you see, please share, subscribe to Darthtuba, 2 words, on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Darthtuba, and you can email me at Darthtuba77, that's Darthtuba77 @gmail.com. If you have any ideas, requests, things that you'd like me to try to do an unboxing for, please let me know, and I will do my very best to accommodate. Alright, so until then, thank you very much, and have a great day.